Finally, somebody has called out the bull crap when it comes to the Indiana Hoosiers and their football team. And we're going to talk about it right here on this edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave your comments. Now, this video was dropped by the odd couple, Rob Parker from Fox Sports Radio. This was dropped a few days ago. This was actually before Indiana played Oregon. And I came across my timeline on YouTube through the algorithm somehow, and I checked it out and I wanted to play it for y'all. And he hit on a lot of things that I'm going to discuss, and I'm going to talk in between some of the things, and I may stop and play and start just because I won't remember 8.5 minutes of video. But we're going to go into this video. Y'all take a listen. And I'm going to tell you right now, he hit on areas that I absolutely agree with him on, and it's stuff that's been ignored. This is bigger than an Indiana Hoosiers problem. This is a college football problem that exists, and I think really needs to get fixed because it's getting a bit out of hand when you listen to how glaring this one is. If you didn't know, now you'll know, and then you can have your opinion and formulate what you think about it. But we're going to listen to this right here. Rob Parker, he torches the Indiana football program. He says they're bad for college football, and his partner Kelvin Washington fires back. Rob Parker has his opinions. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. This one I kind of agree with, and I felt this way about a lot of stuff involving college football. This is just the tip of the iceberg, though. But it's something you need to hear. So before we jump in, shout out to our sponsor of the show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in the areas of criminal defense and family law based out of Fort Lauderdale. Her number is 954-888-8833. That's 954-888-8833. You can also reach her on Instagram at NAT. That's NAT.guilty. Appreciate you, Natalie, for continuing support of our show. Reach out to Natalie if you need her, man, because she's the best in the business, man. I appreciate you, Natalie. Let's jump right on in. Let's share the screen with y'all. We are only a few days out from this game. Cannot wait. Here we go.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to, including Rob G setting up the second half of the semifinals, and we get another team in to get ready for the college football playoffs championship. And Rob G, a big game tonight.
Yeah, we had a big game yesterday. It was on during the show. We talked about it all night. Miami, the U is back.
And
they're the national
was I not? I was happy because I said I was rooting against Ole Miss.
Yes.
I wanted them to lose, Kelvin. I just wanted them to lose.
Yeah, we know.
Well,
we know.
Speaking of wanting to lose,
there's another team I want to lose.
There's another team that's playing tonight that Rob wants to see lose. Surprise, surprise, the Indiana Hoosiers. Rob made headlines about a week ago when he said he's tired of them being called the underdog. They're the big dog. They got all the money in the world. Mark Cuban's financing them.
Yes.
There's nothing special about this story. Well, more
does that sound like
information has come out about this team.
I thought it was you.
In the last week or so. One of them that really got into your craw, Rob, and that is that the Indiana Hoosiers, despite being a collegiate football team made up of college students, has the average age on their roster of 23 years old. To put that into context, the Green Bay Packers, who are playing professional football in the playoffs this weekend, their average age is 25.
Stop it right there. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I watched this video. I knew they had some older guys. I didn't realize how glaring it was and what a ridiculous disparity it is to have a team of 80, an 85-player team, and the average age of your players is 23 years old is nothing short of insane. It's absolutely nuts to have the average age of your player be 23 and the average age of an NFL team is 25. It gives so much. It's the biggest problem in college football. Now I understand people got these COVID years, they got these medical redshirt years, all these years. And it's something that people were hitting on with Miami and Ole Miss, but they only talked about it from a Carson Beck standpoint. They only talked about it, and Carson Beck is this old guy. Carson Beck was 22 years old when the season started this year. I don't know if y'all know that. Carson Beck was 22 years old when the season started. I believe he turned 23 in November, but he was 22. Yeah, November 19th. He was 22 when the season started for the Miami Hurricanes. And no one mentioned that Trinidad Chambliss, who played for Ole Miss, actually turned 23 in August of last year. So he was actually older than Carson Beck, but the only people that you heard talking about age and being in college for a while was Beck and not Chambliss. Now, obviously, Beck is in his 6th year. It's a fact. It's a fact. And he's been a major component to the Miami Hurricanes winning, right? But he's the only one in the Miami Hurricanes top 22. Starters on both sides. He's the only guy who's in his 6th year. Continue to listen to this.
Wow. You know what that says to me? That Alex can't date the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm just saying.
Oh, snap. Don't be acting like it ain't a double date. Don't act like it ain't a double date, you and Alex.
And for anyone who says,
Alex is even laughing.
For anyone who says, 23 is not that bad. You could be in college at 23. Here's some more context for you guys. Of their starting lineup at Indiana, they have 19 starters that are in their 4th year or higher of college football. 8 starters that are in their 5th or 6th year of college football, and only 5 that are in the 3rd or lower year of college football.
They're old as fuck. They're old as fuck. This also goes back to how Curt Cignetti recruits and the fact that he has a bunch of dudes that were lesser known players leaving high school, 1, 2, 3-star guys who played at James Madison. He has a bunch of dudes from James Madison on this team right now. They're all older. They got 6-year dudes in their starting lineup. They got 5th-year dudes in their starting lineup. I mean, it's gotten to the point where, and again, I have no issues with the red shirt for one season, but yeah, when you have a bunch of guys that are 6-year players, 24-year-olds on your football team in college, when you play in a team, and remember the average age is 23, so that means you got some guys that are 24, maybe some dudes that are 25, and you're playing a team whose best offensive weapon just turned 18. I mean, Malachi Tony just turned 18 in September, I believe. September or October. So Malachi Tony was 17 years old when this season started, and he's playing a team with the dudes that are 5 years older than him. I mean, that's how special that kid is, but it's also it's so glaring as how ridiculous this has become in college football. They continue to grant these extensions and these medical red shirts and so forth.
Point blank, these are grown men. These ain't kids.
Here you go. And that's my argument. You must, if you love college football, you must root against Indiana tonight. You don't want them to win. They're a minor league football team. They're not a college team. That's not milk on their breath. That's alcohol. 23, the Green Bay Packers, average age, as Rob G just said, 25. No way, no how. This is not collegiate sports. This is minor league sports being paid. They got a renegade squad. A 24-year-old, 25 is always going to dominate an 18 or 19-year-old college kid. There's nothing special here. I mean, I just cannot understand why people are enamored by this Indiana football team. It's fraudulent. It's fake. It's overbuilt. It is the anti-college football from what this is supposed to be about amateur sports. Let's go get some 28-year-olds next year so that we can repeat. That's what Indiana's thinking. More Cubans giving out more than NIL money. He's also contributing to their pensions. That's how old some of these kids are. Ain't no way you can feel good about it when you realize how old these guys are, the kind of money being spent. Is this where we are? We just want to hijack college football and pay people and bring in old kids to play?
It's been going on in college basketball now for a few years, though. So that's the thing. This has been going on. Y'all remember there was a point in time where college basketball was being dominated, at least in publicly, by fabulous freshmen who were playing 1 year college ball. Teams were recruiting a whole bunch of top 15 recruits like Duke and Kentucky, and then they'd lose because at the end of the day, you'd have a team that was older that, and I don't mean older, I mean a lot older. Like you had, I'll give you an example of one of them. I mean, and one of them was the Miami Hurricanes basketball team, where Miami had a couple of old ass dudes on that team. The team that went to the Final Four. I mean, you had dudes that were 6 year. I think there were some 6 year guys on that team. But heck, that team, forget about that team. I mean, there was Auburn last year had a 25-year-old on their team. I mean, Chad Baker Mazzara, he's a grown ass man. He's still in college. I think he's in his 7th year of college at this point. Like it's gotten to the point he transferred out of Auburn, but there's these teams now in college basketball, they're winning national championships with adults. They're not winning with 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-old guys. They're winning with 25-year-olds. And this new rule now in college that is allowing these grown-ass men who've been drafted to potentially go back and play college basketball, it's utterly crazy. And college football is going in that direction because they have no rules, because their rules are all fake. They're fugazi. And it allows players to get these bogus-ass medical red shirts or extra years. Like, I get the extra year of COVID. That was the one thing. That 1 year, I understood it. There's no one right now that should have a COVID year. Nobody should have a COVID year. And heck, if I'm going to be real, then that includes Carson Beck. Does that obviously change the dynamic of the Miami Hurricanes if Carson Beck's on this team? Obviously it does. There's no question about it. And I have to be transparent and I have to be consistent. But, when you have a 6-year player on your team, it makes a difference. It does. And there's a bunch of dudes like this right now in college football. Carson Beck had, the one thing about Beck is his first 3 years, he really didn't do anything. He didn't really play. I mean, first year he didn't play. So he started in 2020. I don't even know why he got a COVID year, to be honest. He was a redshirt freshman. They get that transfer as a senior. I don't know what, so he's a redshirt, he's a freshman, he's a redshirt freshman. So technically, this is where it gets real funky. He's really a grad transfer. So that grad transfer has really allowed Carson Beck to play for Miami. I don't even think he has a COVID year, really. He had a true freshman year, and then a redshirt freshman year. Then he was a sophomore, a junior, a senior, and then he became a grad transfer. They have allowed this grad transfer thing to hit as well, which I don't remember existing before. And he still could have gone back to Georgia, from what I gather. Some of it's confusing, some of it I don't get, but it's gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand, and when you look at, you have a team of 24-year-olds and 23-year-olds playing guys who are 18, 19 years old. Again, Miami's not young though. So that's the thing in this game, is that Miami's not really young. So they're not going to feel like maybe some other teams felt playing Indiana this year. And I'll be real, talent still trumps age, man. If you are more talented than somebody else, you're just more talented. If you're bigger, you're faster, you're stronger. Ruben Bain is a junior. He'd be the best defensive player on Indiana's football team. Keontae Scott's a senior. He'd be the best defensive back on Indiana's football team. Akeem Mesler and Ruben Bain would be the best 2 defensive linemen at Indiana. I don't know if Akeem Mesler is a 6-year guy, by the way. I think he might be a 6-year guy because he's dealt with all kinds of injuries. Is he a 6-year dude too? Yeah, he is. He was 2 years at he was a freshman at West Virginia, a sophomore, then a junior. Then he was I guess they got a COVID year from 2020. I guess 2020 was a COVID year, and he was a senior, and then he was a senior again, but I think he had a medical redshirt from 2023, and he was a senior last year. Now he's a grad. I don't even get this crap anymore. So maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite at this point, but I do think it's funny that it's being called out by national media in this regard. Why don't any of the people that cover football call this stuff out?
Man, this is terrible. If there is a football god, I beg of you tonight, do not let the Indiana Hoosiers win jack. They must lose so we can stop this madness.
If you don't stop this madness, it is lunacy that I'm hearing coming from you. First of all, we got so much to dissect here. Listen up. First of all, you, of all people, I'm blown away at you hating the game. How you going to hate the player and not the game? Right? They're just playing the game. You're hating the player in a game that is situated for them to take advantage of. The transfer portal all colleges are doing it. Everybody's been doing it for years. Also, COVID year. A lot of people took full advantage of that COVID year. We sat up here last March, and I kept telling you, man, these kids in college basketball look about as old as me. Some of these kids I feel like I went to high school with. And then Rob G., do I not recall last week we had a conversation about a 27, 28, 29-year-old going back to college to play basketball, and Rob was okay with him going back to play basketball? And I said, no. What about the collegiate? This isn't the spirit of it. This isn't what it's supposed to be. You got a grown man who's been playing basketball overseas for 5 or 6 years coming back to college, and you're okay with it. He is taking full advantage of the rules. Everyone else has had the same opportunities. Everyone else has all these graduate students in college and COVID year students. And everybody else, by the way, this is also the parents. Parents are reclassifying their students. They're having their kids get held back in 6th grade, so they're coming out 19, 20 years.
I'm glad he hit that. I'm going to hit on that. I hate that. I think parents that do that are doing a disservice. They're doing a disservice to their kids. They're doing a disservice to the sports. They're so desperate to have their kids be superstars that the reality is most of these guys are not going to be shit. I mean, I'm not going to be mean about it, but they're not going to be shit. You know, very few are going to benefit from being reclassified. The thought process that if I'm in 6th grade, that my mom and dad are going to hold me back from the 6th grade, even if I'm doing well in school, is because of sports is utterly crazy to me. The parents are a major problem in this thing. So yeah, that probably contributes to these guys being older as well, because these guys are graduating from high school at 19, almost 20 years of age, because they've been held back for no damn reason other than they wanted to play sports. Because I guess it brings you pride at 19 to go beat someone that's 16. I mean, there is a difference in age, and so I do agree with kind of agree with both these guys in this situation, because yeah, I'm not blaming the player. I'm blaming the system. The system is the problem. The system itself has become the problem. The second that Congress touches stuff in terms of sports, they ruin it. Congress has been ruining sports for a long time. Everyone's so mad about the NCAA, and everyone got on board with the NIL, and I knew what was going to happen with NIL, and it's even worse than I ever said, because they completely shifted NIL to a level where it's just like, sign a check. This isn't even about do a job anymore. This isn't even about name, image, and likeness, because you're not getting paid $6.5 million for name, image, and likeness. I have not seen Carson Beck on one singular commercial down here. I have not seen Fernando Mendoza on one singular commercial. I haven't seen Ruben Bain on a singular commercial. So what the fuck name, image, and likeness has actually happened down here? What's happening is they're signing deals with merch companies, and they're getting paid for it. That's the name, image, and likeness. In the past, it was donors were giving them jobs to post up some stuff on social media. I follow some of these guys. You don't see them post anything about this stuff. Like there's nothing. So the name, image, and likeness thing is literally nothing more than endorsement deals. It's no longer about doing a job. It's just straight up endorsement deals. That is nothing different than what you see in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, etc. So I see both sides of it, but Indiana's really, really attacking it head on. Like they got 23 years old. That's old dudes, but thankfully in this situation for the Miami Hurricanes, we got some old dudes too. So I can't completely bitch and moan about it and complain about it, because we got some old dudes who, I mean, hell, CJ Daniels is a 6th-year senior also. Like that dude spent 4 years at Liberty, went 1 year to LSU, and then, I mean, he did have a medical redshirt season, and then COVID year, and yeah, he's a senior. He's a super. I remember the movie Higher Learning. He's a super duper senior. I mean, we got a bunch of super duper seniors out here.
So they were better than most people when they were in high school. So this has been happening with the parents. This is the colleges, and this is the students, and they're all taking full advantage of it. And this is why we talk about it being the wild, wild west. And this is why the SEC ain't going to be the SEC anymore, by the way, Rob, because they used to be able to stack 2 or 3 positions. We got a starter at linebacker, second, third string, 4 or 5-star recruits, and they're going to stay here because it's Alabama. But now with the transfer to NIL, kids like, I ain't waiting behind him. I'm going to go get paid at Washington State. I'm going to go get paid at North Carolina State and go start there instead of sitting behind 2-3 guys at Alabama because it'll get me to the league because it's Alabama. So SEC is going to have a bunch of problems because that's what made them so good. They were a freaking factory. And now these guys are dipping out and going other places, and they're not as deep as they used to be. So he's taking full advantage. He's done it in 2 years, and you can't hate the player, hate the game, Rob.
No.
Coming from you, I'm disappointed.
I can hate it because it's just a false narrative and false story that they're painting. Like, unbelievable. Look at what he did. He showed up. Indiana was never a college football power. Of course not. They got kids who got gray beards. They're paying guys Medicaid to play. Their pregame meal at the Indiana Hoosiers. Sodium-free bacon, decaf coffee, and a chest x-ray in college.
Yo, I'm sorry. This is hilarious. And again, that is also one of the things. The narrative is that Kurt Cignetti's done such an amazing job there, right? That's part of the problem. Is that this narrative is that Kurt Cignetti's done this masterful job at Indiana. No, he's got a bunch of grown-ass men playing for him. He got grown dudes. He got grown men that should either have had their college careers end and they should be working a regular job or they'd be in the NFL. The reality is most of these guys for Indiana right now, I don't know who's getting drafted besides Mendoza. Maybe Surratt does. He's a senior. But outside of that, who the hell is getting drafted off of this Indiana football team? They're just a bunch of old-ass dudes on this team. And again, maybe I sound like a hypocrite because Miami has a few of these old-ass dudes too. But Indiana's got a whole lot more of them. Like, keep it real. They got a whole lot more of them. The average age of your team is 23. That means you got some geriatric motherfuckers on this team. Like, seriously, we got to call a spade a spade. Shout out Ben Daniel. You know, this is what it is, and I'm glad that Rob Parker's doing that. But I also agree with his partner, you know, because this is a system that's been created, and it's destroyed college football, in my opinion. It is destroying. This shit is unsustainable. The fact of the matter that Miami offered $6.5 million reportedly to Ty Simpson. I mean, that's outrageous. He won't make $6.5 million as a rookie in the NFL because he's a 4th-round level pick. Like, that's the type of player he is now. Maybe he gets picked higher because it's the NFL and they're desperate for quarterbacks, but he's not that damn good. Do I think he could be a good college QB in Miami? Sure, certainly, because he fits what we do. But you know what? At the end of the day, if we can't get him, I'm telling you right now, I'm heading to bottom damn Coleman next year. I'm saying go do it, bro. Go do it. We may not be national championship level team, but we're going to be a playoff team because everything else is being built around it. And we still got weapons all over the place. And Mario Cristobal will get transfer guys. The problem that I have overall with this whole thing, it comes down to the fact of the matter that you got dudes that are 24 years old playing football against dudes that are 18, 19. That's an issue. That's not only an issue for football and for the league, that's for health purposes. Like a 24-year-old guy hits an 18-year-old guy, that can be dangerous. And I know I'm sounding like a little bit of a pussy right now, but it can be. It can be. The speed of the game is crazy. Most freshmen aren't freaking Malachi Tony or Bryce Fitzgerald or Gerard Pringle. They're dudes that don't see the field. And he's completely right about the fact that the SEC, yeah, they're not keeping those guys anymore. But that's all about NIL. The problem that I have with the whole thing is that you're letting guys stick around forever. And the transfers that you could transfer 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You need to move this thing down where you can transfer one goddamn time, and after that, you get no more transfers without losing a year. And that's how you stop this transfer portal crap. You get guys that got one transfer. After one, you got to sit out a year. And if you want to transfer still, that's at your decision. You get no waivers. You get no compromises. You got one, and that's it. After that one, you are done. You can transfer, but you're sitting out because this shit has gotten ridiculous.
Is that where we are? Come on,
that
Kelvin.
is where we are.
It don't feel right.
I agree with you.
That's
but
why
that's why we got to change the system.
No, that's why you need to root against Indiana. No way, no how do we want them to win and advance. I hope they lose, just like I hoped Ole Miss lost, because they were belly aching about Lane Kiffin and they got their come up.
I don't even know who you are anymore.
And now I want to I hope that Indiana, nobody wants to see Mark Cuban's money go towards a championship.
But you
No
are right
way.
with Phil. You do
No
realize
way.
if they lose, they're losing to Phil Knight's money, right? So pick your billionaire. You want Phil Knight, or you know what it is?
At least-
you just want Phil Knight to send you some shoes. That's all. I figured you out. You want Phil Knight to send you some new kicks. Well, at least get the odd couple on the side of them so we can both get a pair. Dang it.
Oh my God. So that was the odd couple. Now, as far as the Mark Cuban money to Phil Knight money, that's actually inaccurate because guess what? Miami's an Adidas team. So you would be losing to Adidas money, whoever the Adidas CEO is or chairman is, because it's not Phil Knight. Because Miami's an Adidas team just like Indiana. We're gonna have an Adidas team win a national championship this year because both teams are Adidas teams. Look, I see both sides of the story, but I just think it's absolutely hilarious that Rob Parker just called these dudes out like this and said, "I want them to lose because they're old as shit." And it's bad for college football. Notice he didn't say Miami's bad for college football. In fact, he was happy that Ole Miss lost because of that Lane Kiffin nonsense. This is a fun video to do. And I do see problems with all this. I've had issues with NIL from Jump Street. I always knew what it was going to turn into. I didn't think it would get this bad because I didn't think that teams would be really willing to do this type of thing. Now, why is Mark? I don't even. Did Mark Cuban go to Indiana? Like that's where I'm a little confused. Did Mark Cuban go to Indiana? Where did he go to school? He's from Pittsburgh. Damn, he's 67 years old. This dude went to Pitt. Oh, he did go to Indiana. Okay, that explains it. That explains it. Okay. I stand. He did go to Indiana. Then you know what? Support your school, bro. I got no issue with that, man. I can't have an issue with a guy supporting his university. Yeah, I got no issue with it, man. But hopefully we kick Mark Cuban's ass on Monday. But you know, it is a little wild. I mean, it is a little bit wild with what's happening in college football. But yeah, the playing field has been evened out, and the SEC teams no longer have all these talented players, and that's why they're not going to win anymore. Or they may win once in a while, but they're not going to keep winning when you don't get to stack 3 levels of 5-star athletes on the bench and just keep replacing them, whereas everybody else is fighting for a spot. And that's why Mick Saban retired. We all know why he retired, because he knew the writing was on the wall that this shit was all about to end. And it has, because now this is 3 straight years where there will not be an SEC champion, an SEC team winning the national championship. Because last year it was Ohio State. The year before it was Michigan. This year it's going to be either Indiana or the Miami Hurricanes. So that's all I got. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments about Rob Parker. I mean, don't kill me too much because I do call it out for what it is. I mean, I know we got dudes that are 6-year guys as well. But the reality is, like, Indiana, their whole team is that. Their whole team is 23 years old. 23. They don't have any freshmen on their starting line. We got 3 freshmen that are playing that are 2 that are major impact players, and a third who could be an impact player if he played more. I mean, he played earlier and he was a major impact player later in the season. But yo, this is big time, man. This is big time and hilarious. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered. Power, come on now, the podcast. Come on now.